Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Dina Palmer. I will be your host, and we also have Ashley Brown. She will be our moderator today, and we're two of your member relations specialists here at Okie 811. Today, we're going to have a short presentation. It's Plan, Protect, Meet Pre-Excavation Meeting Requests. So just like a good director values feedback, we want to hear from you. So drop any questions you have in the chat anytime during the presentation. If you have any issues with Teams during the presentation, please try to leave and then rejoin. This is going to be just a short 10 to 15-minute webinar, but feel free to take notes. And remember, we'll have a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar to answer any of your questions. So just like any good movie, the one call process is only successful when all the tools at hand are being used. There is clear communication, defined roles, and solid planning. So today we'll discuss what a pre-excavation meeting request is and what facility operators need to know when these are requested. So to begin, a pre-excavation meeting request is an optional notice to underground facility operators to participate in scheduled meetings for the purpose of planning large projects. It was officially added to the Oklahoma Underground Damage Prevention Act on November 1st, 2024. It only applies to large projects that exceed the scope of work limits defined within the law, or the estimated duration will be greater than 90 days. And like any great movie, the cast is everything. When it comes to pre-excavation meetings, it's just as important to make sure the right cast member is assigned to the role. So whether it's an in-person or virtual meeting, your success depends on the right people receiving the request, showing up prepared, and playing their part. One great option to consider is setting up a separate output specifically for pre-excavation meeting requests. This might not be necessary for every organization, but in some cases it can be extremely helpful. For example, if all of your locate requests are currently sent to a third-party company, a dedicated output ensures pre-excavation meeting requests go directly to someone within your organization, the right cast member who can take action. So pre-excavation meeting request outputs would allow Okie 811 to send requests directly to those people in your organization who could attend the meetings. Keep in mind, this will incur that additional output fee. Currently, the additional output fee is $180 per year per output, but that can change when the fee schedules change. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. These outputs are optional. If you're unsure whether your organization needs one, don't hesitate to contact member services and we can kind of walk you through that and see if that's something you need. If you choose not to add an additional output for these requests, you will receive your pre-excavation meeting request at your existing electronic output. Now that we've cast the right people in the right roles, it's time to take a look at the script. So every good production needs a solid script to follow, and in our case, that means understanding what information will be included in a pre-excavation meeting request and how you as a facility operator should respond. So let's flip to the next scene and break it down. So what can you expect these pre-excavation meeting requests to include? They will include the proposed meeting date, meeting time, and the location. These meetings must be set at a minimum of 72 hours from the date of submission. It's going to include contact information, including the name, telephone, and email address. An estimated project start date that must be set at least 14 calendar days from the request submission date. And how should you respond to these requests when you receive them? Whenever you receive a pre-excavation meeting request in the portal, you have two options. You can respond with action code 16, letting them know that you will be attending that pre-excavation meeting. You could also respond with Action Code 17, letting them know that you're not going to be able to attend that pre-excavation meeting. These response codes are only available for responding to those pre-excavation meeting requests. Facility operators do need to provide a positive response within 72 hours of the request submission date. So just like on a locate request, when you have to respond before that work to begin date and time, you also need to respond within 72 hours of the request submission date for these pre-excavation meeting requests. So, all right, now that we've got the script in hand and we know what the meeting request should include, the next big question is, where will the meeting take place? Whether it's an in-person meeting on site or a virtual meeting online, knowing when and where to show up is key to keeping everything on schedule and avoiding confusion. So whether this request is for an in-person or virtual meeting, there are some key details that you should expect to see. You want to make sure that you have the date and time, the contact information, and either where to meet or how to access the virtual platform. Before providing your positive response, take a moment to verify those details to make sure that you have everything you need to determine whether or not someone from your organization can attend that meeting. If it's virtual, it may be a lot easier for somebody from your organization to attend this meeting as opposed to an in-person meeting. So make sure you verify that information before you give that positive response. So we've got the script, we know who's been cast in the right roles, and the location is locked in. So it sounds like everything is ready for a smooth production, but not always. So even the best planned scenes can take a dramatic turn. Let's talk about some of the most common plot twists that can disrupt these pre-excavation meetings, and more importantly, how you can avoid them and keep the story on track. So what happens if it's an in-person meeting and you get lost or you can't find the meeting location? What you're going to want to do is reach out to the contact on that request to try to get clarification. And if for any reason you couldn't attend because of that, you want to make sure that you update your positive response and add that as a comment that that's why you weren't able to attend. What if there were virtual meeting issues? Something is wrong with their platform, you can't get logged in. Again, you'll either want to let the contact know by phone or email that there were issues to see if they can assist you, or update that positive response so they know that's why you didn't attend. If you're not if you're unable to attend the meeting just because you can't attend or because you've had issues, again, you want to use positive response to let the contacts know, and maybe you can possibly set up another meeting with them, or if there's documents, they can send those to you once the meeting's completed. But what happens if the host was a no-show? Make sure that you update your positive response to document this. That's a big one. You definitely want to make sure that, you were going to attend, they didn't show up. You want to make sure that's on your positive response because that's a good record for you to know what happened, and it stays on that request forever. So get that positive response updated and then maybe try to reach out to them to see if something happened and if a backup meeting has been scheduled. And remember, those positive response comments are perfect to document anything that you feel is important when it comes to these pre-excavation meeting requests. These requests are really just a planning tool, but you still want to go ahead and document anything that you feel is important. And almost all of the issues that we discussed and really any issues that could arise with these requests can be resolved through communication with that excavator. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need any kind of clarification. So now that we've revealed those common plot twists and how to avoid a box office flop, it's time to bring everything together. The cast is ready, the script is written, the location is set, and we've learned how to stay on track when things don't go as planned. So what happens next? Let's take a look at where these pre-excavation meeting requests fit into the bigger picture of the one-call process and how your role helps ensure the entire production is a success. So to start, the excavator would submit a design survey request. The facility operator has 14 days to physically mark or send maps. Then facility operators use the OK811 portal to submit their positive responses. After that, an excavator completes their design project. And then next up, the excavator would want to submit that pre-excavation meeting request. As a member or facility operator, you have 72 hours to positively respond if you will or will not attend the meeting. Then the pre-excavation meeting request takes place. You develop a marking schedule with the excavator. The excavator submits their initial tickets based on the marking schedule. And then again, the members use the Okie 811 portal to submit their positive response. The excavator verifies markings and responses and proceeds to dig with care according to the law. So as you can see, if all of these steps are followed, this can really help, especially with those large projects. We do get a lot of feedback from members about how daunting receiving those large project requests can be. So attending those meetings and being able to help that excavator develop a marking schedule based on when they're submitting tickets can be really beneficial for everybody involved. And like I mentioned, this was going to be a short 10 to 15-minute webinar. And just like that, we've walked through the cast, the script, the location, the plot twist, and how it all fits into the one call process. Let's open up the floor to Ashley and see if we had any questions, if you guys had any thoughts or anything that you'd like to revisit.
Thank you so much for all of that great information, Dina. At this time, we do not have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you, Ashley. Before we roll the credits, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's performance. Your feedback does help us improve future webinars and ensures we're delivering content that's really truly helpful to you. We don't want to waste your time, and we want to make sure that you're getting the information that you need. So you can scan the QR code or follow the link that we're going to put in chat. It only takes a minute, and again, your input really means a lot. And if you need any assistance at any time, your member services team is here to help. Feel free to call or email us. We have our phone number up on the screen and our email address. Feel free, if you think of any questions after the webinar, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email. That way we can help you out. And we hope you have a wonderful day. And again, thank you for joining us for this short little webinar over the pre-excavation meeting request. Thank you.